Oh. Man, my nose, man. Shit. Ugh. Bam. Ugh. Fucking hell, man. There we go. So I'm gonna wake up for the morning. Nah, good enough. Yeah, this is definitely feeling better than the orange eyes in the last few days. Last couple nights was especially fucked, but at least today hopefully she'll be chill and relaxing. Hopefully this like 30-minute to an hour-ish thing will hopefully solidify how today's gonna be by just humbly being chilled. So. Yeah. Have that on? Yeah, I do. Okay. This is interesting. It's such what the greatest parking lot driving of all time. Alright, Moist Critical. I'll check that out. Man, I'm early. 54 minutes into this video being uploaded. Nice. Let's see what that's all about. This, you know. Dun 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 dun. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's get that morning bowl going. Except as a lazy fuck make. Wait, what? I think you might have I've not slept yet. You haven't slept yet? Bruh. YouTube censored me. Well, evidently. YouTube, stop censoring people. Stop it. Bruh. But, well, like, shouldn't you be sleeping? Shouldn't you be doing a thing called sleep? Even I was able to do a thing called sleep. So, getting the property ready. Well, you should be able to fucking sleep too. Maybe he should actually be a fucking, you know, workman, bust his fucking ass like a proper fucking adult. Dude, these fucking, like, I mean, if there's, like, honestly one thing that's just been ingrained into, like, older people, it's just this mentality of, like, I don't have to do fuck all, and I could just, like, you know, let everybody else, you know, deal with my fucking problems. Even if I'm the direct source of those problems, and I should be the one to solve it, no, everyone else gets to fucking deal with it, and I could just sit pretty and do fucking nothing. Or just, like, degrade themselves slowly. $10 p.m. to 10 a.m. shift. That don't sound like an excuse, you know, when it comes from his ass. That sounds like, you know, he ought to, like, you know, make sure he puts his fucking work in. Oh, and stuff needs to be done in the house? Well, there ain't no such thing as a day off. Fucking old man. If he's gonna, you know, try and ingrain that shit into everybody else, then maybe he should fucking practice it. He doesn't get to sleep until the entire property is ready, and that includes, you know, working in between shifts. You don't get to know what fucking sleep is. But I guess, unfortunately, you know, he has to make sure everyone else feels that way. And he doesn't. Coffee and spite. Mostly coffee. That's usually how it's like half of my days energized with. Anger, spite, and coffee. And a lot of weed. Dude, he called you a fairy in your ID picture. So he's calling you a faggot? Like, you know he just called you a faggot without calling you a faggot, right? Back in, like, the 70s and shit, like, calling people who were, like, you know, queer or gay and shit, like, fairy fags was a very common thing. Actually, one of my more favorite quotes from, like, the 70s during Stonewall, funny enough, was actually from one of the cops. And one of the cops was, at least one of the quotes from one of them was saying, it's like, we were able to, like, walk all over everybody else, like, you know, the minorities and shit like that. But we didn't expect these fairy faggots to fucking fight back either. And when the cop was referring to that, he was referring to, like, the homosexuals and, like, drag queens and trans people that were seen as, like, little fairies and, you know, immaculate and very effeminate. Not exactly strong or, like, you know, ones who look like they're gonna be throwing Molotov cocktails and shit, but, you know, Stonewall happened. And then pretty much, like, a bunch of cops and right-wing chug fucks, you know, were like, what? They could fight back? I didn't know this. Been called worse. I mean, just figured I'd at least let you know. She's scared of the upcoming Trump drama next week. Man, do you really think that's gonna happen? Like him getting arrested on Tuesday? Because honestly, the only main reason why that's even being discussed is because Trump is the one who said something about it on Truth Social. Like, the only reason why people are making a hoopla over it is because Trump said something about it. Does that really make it true? Like, especially knowing, like, Trump's fucking, like, never has ever said, does not understand the concept of honesty in his life. Like, ever. You know, it's, I don't know, like, yeah, like, he's being probed and shit. And from my understand, it's over, like, the Stormy Daniels hush money shit. Like, that's the possibility of how he might get arrested, which, frankly, is literally, like, some Al Capone shit. Like, you're, like, a mafioso fuck. You know, a narcissistic shitbag, you know, like, looking to gain power for yourself. A ruthless motherfucker. Like, you know, I guess in a sense kind of like Capone, but at least what got Capone was literally tax evasion. And fucking, you know, and what's Trump gonna get hit with? Hush money for fucking prostituted. It's like, here, shut the fuck up, you whore. Here's a bunch of money. Don't tell the world my dick looks like a mushroom. She's worried about possible repeat of Jan 6 over it. Oh, if it happens, oh, absolutely. Want to stand up for his president? Oh, please do. Oh, I would... Dude, if he does, you do realize the fucking FBI is very likely to see him. Because say what you want about Jan 6 with everything, if there's at least one thing that I thought was fucking hilarious was that, like, weeks leading up to it, the FBI was going to these, like, trailer trash fucking hick-ass little fucking backwater, you know, like, just abandoned towns, basically. Just fucking hick inbred-ass backwater fucking shitholes. And just, like, rounding these fuckers up, you know, because they all decided to go down to Jan 6 and shit. Because of his military background? Oh, absolutely. Frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if there is, like, some element of surveillance on him. Just because of his background. And because he's organized with neo-Confederate paramilitary organizations, which are in line with outright military organizations, you know, that are, like, you know, fucking just, you know, beyond just, like, having the little rallies and shit. Like, he's involved with legitimately, like, paramilitary fascist groups and shit. Like, he's definitely being surveyed. Which I guess by proxy you, but honestly, you're nowhere near the fucking main threat. Because, like, you and your ideology, which includes mine too, is, you know, fundamentally, broadly, not as much of a threat in comparison to fascism and shit, at least when it comes to, you know, surveying, you know, people when it comes to individual criminality. I wouldn't be surprised if they monitor me because I'm family of his. Well, well, like I said, they probably don't, you know, see you as a big deal. They probably recognize, yeah, lefty, but he ain't gonna go out and do anything. So, yeah, it's, if anything, it's probably like, you know, shoved off to the side and just background radiation. I mean, like everybody else, you know, everyone's being surveyed one way or another, but at least when it comes to more direct surveillance, like, your step-up's definitely getting that. You probably aren't. You probably were for a little bit, but then they realize you're fucking not a problem or a threat or harmful or likely to do anything, so... I'm actually a little nervous right now. I mean, the thing is, if, like, let's just say this, like, if shit happens... Like, what the fuck is your stepdad gonna do? What, is he gonna go to Huntsville? Is he gonna go to Birmingham? Where's he gonna go? Is he gonna drive his ass all the way to DC or Mar-a-Lago? Which, frankly, if you think about it, wouldn't that necessarily be a silver lining because he's not there anymore? Because he'd rather go fucking fight for a lost cause that's gonna fucking be crushed? Oh, fuck, really? Dude, okay, that actually really does change things. That actually does, dude. What? At least he has the URLs over his internet history. That's saying something. Dude, he's getting organized. Dude, that's kind of freaky. Dude, that's freaky, bro. Like, it's one thing to be murmuring about it, but now he's like actually getting, like, dude. Jesus. Yeah, like, okay, what can I How do you hide one of his guns without him knowing? You know, reappropriating it. You know, a little hand-me-down, wink, wink. I mean, you're an L. I'm not telling Mother unless this escalates. Yeah, it's... dude, I don't know. You probably should. I don't need to freak out even more. Well, okay, you know what? Fair enough, fair enough. But... you probably want to collect notes about that yourself. Like, honestly. Like, collect that, like how your mom's collecting notes. Do that for that shit. And then, if it really gets worse, then show her. If anything, she might be a little proud of being like, oh, fuck, look at you collecting all this. Being a little, you know, investigative journalist. You know, if anything, she might get a little proud of you on that one. So, yeah, I mean, that's a little extra. If you can find a way to get into his emails, that would be even better. I'm not kidding. Because if he's talking with people, guarantee you emails are going to be the back and forth. She has direct access. Well, if she does, she hasn't seen anything there, then he probably is doing it via text messages. Or Telegram group chat. If you somehow have a way to get into his phone and sneak into it while he's not, like, awake or, you know, doesn't have access to it, while he's asleep especially, you might find some stuff. I don't think he's smart enough. Dude, don't underestimate him. He might be a fucking old man, boomer, chuckle fuck idiot. But he's not just, like, I mean, if he's talking straight up with, like, some fucking, you know, like, fucking, Patriot front dudes and shit, that's some, that's serious shit. Because as far as I'm concerned, that really is outright a paramilitary terrorist organization. Don't know his phone pin. Well, there's a little trick to being able to figure that out. You know how, like, you know, people kind of, like, have smudges when, you know, they're on their, you know, using their phone, especially if they're having, like, a pin or, like, some sort of a pattern lock? You know, I would say that, you know, see if you can find it that way. Or just, like, you know, next time you see him on his phone, or at least pulling it out, look at, you know, what he's doing as he's unlocking it. He would say the same about me talking to the SRA. Well, he would probably think the Democratic Party is a terrorist organization, so what the fuck does his word have to, you know, mean anything? Like, these fucking morons literally think Antifa, like, which is not even an outright organization, like, it's like they think they're a terrorist group, so. Like, there's different, like, leftist, like, groups regionally in different cities that might take the name Antifa. Like, there's Rose City Antifa for, like, in Portland. Like, they're, like, a group of, you know, they're an organization that openly calls themselves Antifa, but, like, that's about literally as far as it goes. There's not, like, some national or international organization of this. Which I find fucking absurd. Dude, I don't know, man. Deconstruction, dude. What is there to deconstruct besides just, like, it's right-wing bullshit? And just it slowly melting my brain. Ugh. Where'd that one thing go? Oh, there it is. Cool. And you want your friends to smile, don't you, please? I do, but that's why, you know, also try to, you know, do my thing too, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, make people laugh or shit. Oh, where's this dog go? Oh, there you are. What you doing, boy? You're good for doing pup-pup. He's literally just sitting by the door. Just hanging out. Sweet little baby. I'll kind of notice that, like, sometimes when I wake up, he'll, like, be sleeping right beside the door. And I actually kind of learned that, you know, when dogs sleep if they're, like, pack and stuff, usually they like to, obviously sleep in, like, kind of close spaces and stuff. So, like, being in your bedroom's, like, you know, something that, you know, they love sleeping in. And, one thing I found out is that sometimes if they don't necessarily, like, outright sleep with you in your bed, but, like, sometimes they'll sleep beside your door and shit like that. And basically, you know, like, and they do that essentially as kind of a way to kind of, like, be like a little watchman. So sometimes when I wake up and I see Zukov just kind of sleeping, chilling by the door, I'm like, oh, he's watching over me, it's so cute. And then when he wakes up and notices me awake, then he'll immediately come to my bed and start getting all stretchy and being like, what's up, buddy? Wake up, human. It's so cute. This perversion knows no bounds. Talks from mother abstaining from masturbation. Ew. Talks public about jerking it on Facebook. Oh my god. Like, so he's on Facebook publicly about just, like, dude, how does the fuck do, like, the things I could do to a fucking degenerate filth bag like this, bro. Seriously. And frankly, if he wants to quote-unquote stand up for his president or whatever the fuck, then I dare him to go to fucking DC and have, like, you know, the fucking feds, you know, just, like, crush their fucking asses. If you wanna know how mother fell for an accident, because I don't fucking know. Well, honestly, it's likely because he wasn't like this before. I mean, he was probably like a conservative chuckle fuck, you know, to some extent, but he probably was not, like, to this level of insanity and fucking Nazistic shit. Like, that, you know, shit like this, you know, devolves over time, usually. I mean, it's not like you get people who are literally born and raised like that, because of course, but, I mean, all in all, he just seems like a dude who probably grew up kind of conservative, and that just kind of made a foundation that was easier to fall in, you know, to neo-Confederate / like, neo-fascistic, you know, ideology. Because he was already kind of partly prone to it. Maybe not necessarily, like, you know, right off the bat, so to speak, but there, you know, a lot of shit led up to it. Because, I mean, hypothetically, like, I mean, you know, I even look at my own, like, upbringing, and I could kind of see if, like, certain things are different. Or if I didn't, like, grow up here in Oregon, for example, I most likely probably wouldn't necessarily be outright as, like, lefty as I am. You know, so there definitely would certainly be, you know, differences just because of upbringing and, like, the environment you're in. I don't think that his ideas carry the challenge. Well, even if they have been, he's not comfortable with the idea and just apparently just cannot fucking, you know, fathom the idea of his ideas being challenged. Alright, so I should be conservative? Well, and you're not. Which obviously shows that, you know, there's different factors that happen in your upbringing that kind of, you know, led up to that not being the case. Because I don't necessarily think, it's just, like, inherently, like, some sort of, like, oh, yeah, people are just inherently conservative or this or that, just by nature or some shit. Like, because ideas like that tend to get, taught into people over time. Or learn from that, from, like, things in their environment. So, when it comes to that type of shit, it's, like, it's something that people kind of, build up over time. And if nothing challenges it, then it just, blooms more and more. And eventually becomes something that ends up being a lot more sinister, usually. Especially when it comes to, like, neo-Confederate ideas and shit. Oh, she's proud I'm not anymore? Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of an example, isn't it? Like, you used to be growing up, but then, like, certain elements in the environment and your social circles kind of led you to realize, oh, hey, being homophobic is actually kind of cringe, bro. And if anything, you're realizing that you might have, like, homosexual tendencies and be bisexual. Quit calling yourself bi-curious, because goddammit, like, there's plenty of people who are bi who haven't had, like, quote, same-sex relations, okay? Like, I mean, you're bi. Get over it. Guzzling cock turns her on. Like, I mean, just admit it, alright? Well, you already do, but, I mean, and that's the point. So, it's just like, and honestly, I was partly the same way, but I kind of caught that shit on pretty early. Because of, like, that whole, like, 90s element of, like, hey, baby, and calling everything gay and shit, like, that was still pretty, prevalent, of me growing up, for a good chunk of my life. It wasn't until really around middle school where there was elements of, like, the education system and the environment, that, kind of started challenging that. And yeah, honestly, like, especially growing up, once I started realizing what, like, vulgarity was and all that shit, yeah, like, gay, faggot, fuck, cunt, like, everything was, like, said, like, 8,000 times a second, basically. Like, I mean, like, it was just, the whole shebang. I mean, so, yeah, and I was called that shit all the time. I was calling other kids that all the fucking time. I mean, and frankly, yeah, a lot of homophobic shit done to me and other kids that I did. So, and that was, it was brutal. Like, it was bad, honestly. Especially 7th grade, that was fucked, bro. Like, I mean, that was the year that was, like, fucked up. Not necessarily just for me, but just, like, just because it was, like, a brutal, like, year at that middle school. I mean, so, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, like, it's something that, like, permeates, when it comes to, like, environmental factors. And unless something challenges that type of shit, then it's not going to be something, that just goes away, so to speak. I mean, for some people, maybe it does. Like, hypothetically, I probably would have, weaned away from, homophobia and shit like that either way, just especially being in the Pacific Northwest and in Portland and being just generally in a more liberal, progressive area. But, like, at least, with the fact that, I had stuff early in my life, challenging these type of ideas that, frankly, were wrong, it, led me to kind of being able to have that shit kind of caught early. So, now, at this point, I'm probably way more lefty now than I, ostensibly might have, like, been in the past, or I might not have been. They aren't secure enough about sexuality, the other gender can be attractive. Well, yeah. And that, and also, and I think it's part of what I'm talking about. Because there's, a lack of proper education when it comes to gender and sexuality and sex, biologically. There isn't, like, actual proper education and nuance on the matter. And because of that, most people don't really understand what the fuck any of it is, and misconstrued most of it, and think, like, gender and sex are the same thing. Sexuality is just literally, like, are you gay or straight, and shit like that. And basically just, like, and people don't really totally understand it. And there's a lack of understanding and education on the matter. And with that, coupled with, a lack of understanding of one's own sexuality and gender and identity and shit, leads to a major sense of insecurity of, like, well, what the fuck am I? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel attracted to this type of stuff when I, been told and grown up and raised in the idea that I shouldn't? And blah, blah, and blah, 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 et cetera, it's just like, all these different things culminate into what ends up becoming a toxic idea culturally, which ends up becoming like homophobia or transphobia or, you know, like, or, you know, all these other type of, like, you know, discriminatory ideas. You know, just based off of a lack of really understanding and education. Just be secure enough to admit a man can't be hot. I'm not even trolling. Well, I mean, I don't know, bro. So, I mean, I guess, well, frankly, I kind of thought the same thing for myself until I realized goddamn dick good. So, I don't know, bro. I'm just I mean, it's like, I mean, it kind of goes back to my conversation from last time about, like, how I feel like everybody's got, like, a little bit of something when it comes to, like, bisexuality, or a little bit of, like, the tinge of the rainbow sprinkle. Yeah, at least I was referring to. Feel like it's a little bit of that going on there. Just a little bit. I still can't. Alright, try to call me out. I saw some of that. I didn't see all of it, but I saw some of it. And frankly, he's kind of right. I mean, a little bit. I mean, you know, it's, like, I mean, here's like another test, I guess. Like, pretty much, like, I mean, you know, look at, like, straight up, like, some outright gay sex, like some steamy-ass gay sex, like, steamy as fuck, and try busting it, like, seriously. And if you do, there you go. You probably just confirmed in your head you're bi as fuck. Because if you can bust to that and to, like, you know, straight, you know, stuff too as well, you know, then there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. You solved it in your head. That's kind of part of how I was able to solve it, because, yeah, a lot of the porn I would watch would be, like, straight, yeah, like, I guess, straight porn, and then I'll be like, oh, this gay porn is really nice too. Don't watch all that stuff. Well, put yourself to the test. Let's male on female on male. So like a 3. Well, put yourself to the test, bish. In fact, you know, I could. I'll find something to put that shit to the test. Damn it. We gotta test this theory. So well, yeah. Well, I mean, well, you're straight, so it's for you. It's whatever. I'm trying to get Venom to just like, you know, accept it here, because he always pinballs around it. Beware to be well. Okay, easier for me. That's actually that you actually just made it really easy. I mean, let's just. My lord. Okay, that's on. There. Before we head on here, I want to actually kind of delve into this little thing. Before we get too far into this random digression, I want to see what this whole crazy thing is.
One of the wildest encounters I've ever seen.
Wild encounters.
A vigilante predator hunter group that was busting the person they were investigating in public. And this goes completely insano style. It becomes
Please no, this dude is wait, what? Wait, this? Wait, have you seen this? This is dude, this was like uploaded like barely before I started this. Like, how would you, like, are you, wait, you saw this literally just before I started streaming Venom?
It's like a Benny Hill chase.
And wait, are you talking about Critical? Like, Moist Critical? Because he most certainly is not.
Believe what was unfolding in front of me.
I am currently looking for my fiber.
Your what?
Fiber.
Fiber?
Yeah.
From Hannah Reload streams I watched. What? Wait, like critical or god damn it, like critical or? Oh, I thought those sticks. That's not Sticks, Hex, and Hammer. That's Moist Critical. Like Penguin? Yeah, it's Moist Critical. It's Charlie. I mean, he's reacting to this weirdo who I guess is looking for some fibers. Oh, you know what? I think have I seen this? I think I might have seen this actually a little bit. Similar hairstyle. Are you saying that men with like long ass black hair all look like Sticks, Hex, and Hammer? Because honestly, like Moist Critical, he's not like, okay, here's the major difference. Sticks, Hex, and Hammer is shirtless and wears a leather jacket for some reason. Like Moist Critical always usually just wears a t-shirt. Or if he's, take it down Sneeko, then he's wearing a bathrobe with no shirt underneath, looking like a goddamn king.
Yeah, because I gotta poop.
You gotta poop?
I'm constipated. I've been constipated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is a very interesting tactic. This is a high-level maneuver. He is claiming that he's not there at the meat spot for...
I say I look like Sticks. I mean, you're the one applying it. Long black hair, and, this guy apparently looks like Sticks. Sticks has long black hair.
He's there to get some fiber so he can take a shit. He's been constipated, so he's there for some poop pills. And it doesn't take some galaxy brain genius to put together the puzzle pieces here, connect the dots, and deduce that he is on meth. He's getting loopy off that poopy right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what he's doing is, like... This is why I feel like I've seen the clip I think Critical's reacting to, because I've seen like the tics of that type of behavior, and...
Meth, which isn't just speculation.
Like,
at the end of the video, they released their entire investigation, screenshots of all the text messages that were exchanged between this guy and who he thought was a 13-year-old, and meth comes up a lot. Even right before meeting, meth was discussed, and as you can see in the title, he was arrested, and they did pretty much confirm meth was in his system.
Hey man, I can involve the police, or we can have a conversation. You want to have a conversation? You want to turn around and talk to me?
I gotta find this person.
Hey bro, I can call the cops right now, or we can just have a conversation.
I'm actually really constipated, sir. Please, can you actually let me get my supplements so I can actually go home, so I can poop, and actually so I can poop well?
Step 1 should have been involving the authorities the second you found a real pedophile that...
I mean, honestly, like, I'll say this, I hate these fucking weird vigilante fucks, like, when they try to confront these type of people. It's just like, I mean, I get one thing of being like, hey, let's, like, set up, I guess, the Chris Hansen trap or whatever the fuck. But once you, like, can see them be like, okay, they're over there waiting, then just call up Florida's like, hey, just want to let you know we found, this person is being predatory, blah, 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 blah. We have, some evidence, to back it up, if you want to send an officer down here. And then, have the cop, go over there and deal with it themselves. Like, because at that point, they're probably not even going to suspect shit up until it's too late. Because if they try running from that cop, it ain't going to be good. But, when it comes to this type of situation, then it just looks like, you're, like, some dude just basically straight up just, like, harassing somebody. Because not everyone's going to entirely know the context, when they are walking around a store. Once Chris Hansen's friends got caught. I think I've heard something about that. And honestly, I never even really totally liked Chris Hansen's bullshit anyway, because, like, it kind of undermined, like, actually trying to, like, catch, legitimate, like, predators and shit. And it's just, like, I mean, because how that shit is set up is technically not even necessarily, like, a legal way to catch, like, predators in that way. Like, in a sense of, like, actually trying to do a sting operation. Like, I mean, there was also a major reason why they never outright, like, arrested them on the show, so to speak. Because that, because it would basically be, like, a full-on, like, setup. And technically, those people who were caught, could sue for shit like that. So, I mean, I never really liked the show, mainly just because they kind of, like, were fucking with the broader process of actually trying to catch these people.
And, like, get them smoking meth or whatever.
And I feel like just kind of enabled more of this weird vigilanteism shit, too. Which I think is also permeated with this whole, like, oh my god, like, these groomers are, like, all over the place and all this. It's kind of led up to become, like, a bigger, like, paranoia than it really ought to be. Not like it's a bad, thing to, like, be vigilant about, but, like, it's, it's gotten to a point where it's, getting kind of dangerous. and actually undermining the real problem.
First thing you did. Luckily, there's spoilers in the title, so you know he does get arrested, but not for the reasons of this investigation. Some crazy shit happens towards the end. Had he involved law enforcement earlier, even from the start, I feel like this could have been far more effective. It seems like the first thing he did when he identified a real pedophile was try and figure out how to monetize it and make a viral video out of it or something. Because he gets like 2 different cameras out. He's got like the fucking Steadicam. He's got so many cameras set up. He's got like the GTA cinematic angle going on here. So it really feels like the #1 concern was trying to figure out a way to monetize it. He also has like calls to action in the video to subscribe to his channel. He's got the People vs. Pred watermark. This shit is branded out of the wazoo. So it does really feel like the #1 thing he was looking for here was a way of making money.
Grifting, basically. And this is kind of part of the reason why I think it undermines, the broader issue. Because you got weird vigilantes that basically brand themselves as like some sort of like hero and make money off of it. Excuse me for being atheist or Arizona. Dude, like, frankly, you're more likely for that to happen in Alabama than Arizona. Like, if we're going to compare to Alabama versus, like Arizona, like Arizona's based in comparison to Alabama,
which is kind of weird. It is still good that this does lead to an arrest.
Well, how about your stepdad pulls himself by the bootstraps and just like, sucks it up and sucks up some of that gas.
Wish it was handled with collaboration from the actual authorities.
Can you help me find
Do you want me to
fiber
call-
pills?
do you
Can
want me to
help
call-
find fiber pills?
Do you want
for
me to call the cops?
Why would you want to call the cops for me when I'm trying to find my
I
fiber
know
pills?
why you're here.
Why am I
to
here?
meet my 13-year-old little brother.
Who is that? I don't know who that is. Who is that? I have no clue.
Christ, where are they hiding the fiber pills in this bitch? Like, goodness gracious, are they underground? This man's out here trying to locate fiber pills, and it's like trying to find pirates' buried treasure, apparently.
It's like a Goonies adventure.
But anyway, you can see he's really starting to tweak quite a bit now. Things are getting escalated. The man filming is starting to call the cops, which is something I feel he should have done quite a long time ago.
Without even having to interact with the dude in the first place. And this is my problem with these type of guys, honestly, because if like I don't even necessarily inherently have an issue if like a community member's saying, hey, we think there's somebody that might be like a predator or whatever, and like taking action to kind of like gather evidence with like like fake messages to be able to like coerce them out to meet somewhere, then have law enforcement play a role and be like, hey, we've got someone with evidence of them being trying to coerce a child, blah 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 blah. Like that would be fine. Like I'm not even inherently against shit like that, but it's this whole weird vigilante confrontation and clout hero worship bullshit that to that comes into play with it, where it's just like, oh hey, like it's just like we're going to like record this and put it up and try to brand it and like monetize it. It's like that's where it's just like, what the fuck.
We're only just beginning.
Hey, buddy, is this you?
Can you please?
Why do I have a picture of you? Is this
Why
you?
are you doing this to me?
Is this you? Is this a picture of you? Why do I have a picture of you?
Oh, what's this? What is it?
Why do I have a picture of you?
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Why do I have a picture? Why do I have a picture of your?
Ew, 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 ew.
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for and to give him crystal
Oh
meth.
my God.
Yeah, hand this off here in Alabama. Oh my God. Alabama is like bad, but it ain't Saudi Arabia bad.
Negotiations crumble, diplomacy falls, and then things really pop the fuck off. So he shows him that he has a picture of this guy's asshole, and then we enter like the DPS check of the raid boss encounter here. Now he's chasing the pedophile around while shouting he's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for sex. The predators start shouting. Everyone in the shopping center is confused and maybe even a little frightened from this sudden explosion of yelling and all of that. And we also
Which is why this shouldn't happen in the first place, and these people are fucking stupid for trying to like confront these people. I mean, this is why, like, honestly, this weird vigilanteism about this shit is kind of, if anything, dangerous as shit. Because, like, honestly, like, people, especially in that shop, like, yeah, are going to be more frightened to be like, what the fuck is going on there? Like, and probably want to get the hell out of there more than anything else. And they're probably going to call the cops and be like, there's two people freaking the fuck out, probably both tweaking out and shit. You know, they're probably going to think the person with the cameras are also tweaking. You know, it's a lose-lose all around. And if anything, at that point, it's like likely, you know, that, well, I guess in this case, you know, it wasn't, like, where the, you know, the sprayer was caught, but, like, you know, like, how many times, you know, do situations like this happen where the cops just come in and you're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, don't care, but y'all need to leave and get the hell out of here and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's just like, I mean, it's just handling this whole entire situation, which also undermines the actual, you know, addressal of trying to, you know, like, mitigate and, you know, catch people like this. It's just stupid. It really does undermine this, you know, type of issue. And, you know, makes it a lot more dangerous when it comes to, like, you know, just also when it comes to, like, you know, safety of, like, you know, children and their, you know, when it comes to, like, parents' awareness of the accessibility they have online. And when it comes to just, like, the fact that people think that, you know, oh, if I just go in there and be some hero or some shit and just confront these people, you know, I'm going to be on the right side of things. Like, not really. So, like, if you were, you would just, you know, confront them, you know, had law enforcement confront them. And you would have just stepped aside. One of my ears, I'm right wing on. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily being right wing on, you just have a capital punishment, you know, position on it. Which doesn't necessarily mitigate the problem, though. But, I mean, you should don't get much punishment. Yeah. I mean, well, I don't necessarily, by the way, disagree, but, I mean, like, there definitely needs to be, like, psychological study and analysis on their heads. So we can kind of, you know, find and point, you know, like, to, like, red flags of possibilities and markers that will lead to someone potentially having these type of ideas or, you know, thoughts and shit. And then, you know, have resources and means available to have, like, you know, a way to mitigate these type of problems. You know, and you know, but obviously when it comes to them being caught doing these actions, I don't think you're necessarily going to see me giving too much of a shit about, like, how to deal with them, I suppose.
The meth molester's head, and it seems like he has a lot of dandruff. Not that that has anything to do with anything at all, it just struck me as, wow, that's a lot of dandruff. So, he might want to pick up a bottle of Head & Shoulders on his way back to the poopy pill aisle.
This guy right here is here to meet a 13-year-old boy and to give him crystal meth.
Okay, what's happening?
I'm trying to find you. Do you know where the
Call the
fiber
cops.
pills are?
Call the cops. This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for... Don't touch me.
Sir,
Don't touch me.
Why? Stop.
Don't touch me and don't put your hands in front of my camera, bro.
Stop.
Who the f*** are you?
No.
Stop.
The camera...
Stop! You know what? Okay, frankly, base employee. Like, honestly, like, that employee actually knows how to handle the situation way better than this chuckle fucking grifter, you know, like, please, you know, like, give me money, you know, fucking virtue bullshit. Like, cause he, like, you know, cause basically the first thing he was saying is like, you know, it's like, well, then call the cops, you know, leave him alone, go away and call the cops then, and, like, was telling him to back off, you know, shit, and yeah, like, you should have just done that in the first place, you dumbass. It's like the employee's actually, like, knows how to handle the situation fundamentally better than...
really coming across like a combative asshole. Obviously, the store employee doesn't know the situation, he's not fucking omniscient. All he sees is two people screaming in his store, while one of them has multiple cameras set up, like he's out here trying to film a 360-degree music video. So he's just trying to get in the middle of this and, like, hey, can you de-escalate it, you know, take it anywhere else. And for some reason, the Predator Buster is now starting to get mad at this guy who's just doing his fucking job. Like, he's done nothing wrong. He doesn't...
I mean, honestly, like, and if it really was such a major concern and the dude doing his vigilante hero bullshit, you know, virtue signaling, like, he would have just, like, chilled and told them the situation and be like, hey, this person, you know, instead of just, like, freaking out like a banshee about it.
happening here. He's just trying to de-escalate the situation.
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for... Get in front of my camera again, bro.
Because you're not...
Get in front of my camera again.
You don't have permission to film your...
I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do, camera boy? You virtue signaling little bitch? Like, what are you gonna do? Assault a fucking employee and then, you know, be banned, you know, from the store and then arrested, you dumbass?
This is a...
Who are you?
You need to leave.
Hey, buddy, get the f*** out of my way. Get the f*** out of my
Sir,
way.
you gotta leave my store.
No, I don't. Call the cops.
This guy seems like he was closer to fighting the store employee just doing his job than he was to fighting the actual pedophile that he was there to bust.
I mean, for real, and this is, I mean, honestly, it's just like, fuck this dude. This is why this whole weird virtue signal pandering nonsense is just so goddamn, like, stupid in my mind. And this is why I think it really undermines the actual issue of trying to catch these type of people. Because now, like, even the other customers, the employees, are more worried and trying to deal with the guy trying to catch the motherfucker, more so than the actual, like, tweaking out, like, methed out predator guy. Like, they're more worried, you know, because, you know, like, they're more worried about him because he's the one being outright combative and aggressive, you know, trying to, like, fight people.
Why?
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Why would I do such a thing?
Then leave. Go home.
Can you let me find my fiber pills?
Oh, your fiber pills?
Where's the fiber?
Just when you thought it was starting to wrap itself up, this fucking guy goes back looking for fiber pills. He goes back to the fucking fiber pill aisle and keeps the whole song and dance going. We're in Act 2 now. It is incomprehensible the shit that is unfolding here. I can't believe that this actually is a real thing that happened and isn't some like staged, scripted fucking piece of, I don't know, fiction. It's unbelievable.
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Why are you here to harass me?
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Are you trying to prevent me? No, I'm gonna stop.
2235. Focus.
I'm a weirdo?
Yeah.
Why do I have a picture of his asshole if I'm a weirdo? Why do I...
Well, that, oh my god, that makes you even more of a weirdo. Why would you say that? Dude, what the fuck? What is this dude? Like, like, a customer's like, you're a weirdo. It's like, I'm the weirdo? Well, if I am, why would I have a picture? Like, why would... That literally makes you look like the fucking creep. Oh my god. Like... Dude, like, honestly, like, to grant, like, I'm just gonna grant this right the fuck now, like, I'm putting myself in a perspective of, like, one of these customers. Both of these dudes will look like they're fucking outright tweakers, in my mind. I would think this guy, with all of his weird camera setup, is a tweaker and shit, you know, like, and I would think this is, like, some weird, like, you know, deal that gone wrong or some shit, you know, like, that's what I would think. It's like some weird drug deal that went wrong. Like, that's just essentially is what my mind would go to or something.
Weirdo.
Some of the other people around him start calling him a weirdo, the guy filming, to which he takes great offense. So he goes over to prove that he's not weird. So he goes and says, if I'm a weirdo, why do I have a picture of his asshole? Checkmate. Regular old Saul Goodman over here defending himself. I can't be weird. I have a picture of his butthole right here. Look at this. He takes his phone around like it's show and tell. He passes it around saying, hey, look, I'm not weird. Look, this is his anus. I don't know what the strategy is there. He could have easily explained, I'm conducting an investigation. This guy was trying to meet up with my 13-year-old brother. That's a lot more easy to understand than like, hey, I'm not weird. This is this guy's ass. Like, I don't know what the thought process was. I think he was so lost and deep in fight mode.
He was so lost in the fight sauce, dude. He was lost in the Tabasco fight sauce, bro. That's what was going on. He was, like, I feel like that's just what was going on. Because, frankly, like I said, if this dude truly gave a shit about trying to be, like, a quote-unquote hero in this case, he would have just, like, you know, even granted the confrontation. You know, if people were starting to get away, like, the employees and other, like, customers and shit, you know, who are like, what the fuck is going on? Like, he could have just immediately chilled for a second and been like, hey, I'm doing, you know, my own personal investigation because he was trying to coerce my 13-year-old brother for meth and sex, and here's the evidence. And, you know, granted some is graphic, but here's the evidence of this, you know, what he's been sending, blah, blah, blah. Like, he could have, like, chilled out for a second, you know, collect his bearings for just even a fucking 30 seconds and just explain shit. And then, you know, the employee, then some of these other customers would have started understanding it, and suddenly it might have just been the big gossip of the store, being like, oh shit, this guy came in and, like, busted a guy. You know, he was pretty aggressive and passionate, but he came in and, you know, blah, 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 and, you know, stopped him, and, blah, you know, it would have been probably the big talk of the store, you know, a little bit. You know, where he would have actually been seen as, like, the hero at that point. But now, he looks like the fucking weirdo, like, who also kind of looks like he's tweaking out. It's just like, good lord, man. I mean, because honestly, like I said, I don't necessarily have a problem with doing, like, investigation, to, like, catch people like this, but, like, don't confront them. Just, like, get law enforcement involved and let them deal with it when like, especially if you have the evidence to prove it. Like, I mean, because at that point, you would look a lot better, and actually look like the, quote, hero, vigilante, or whatever the fuck that you want to be so badly. It's like, goddamn.
Trying to, like, get aggressive with everybody, even just completely innocent people that didn't understand what was happening.
Trying to meet up with little kids on the internet.
Dude, I wonder how that person in the car saw this. It's like, that person in the car in the parking lot was probably like, is this person about to get mugged? Like, I mean...
I saw a comment that perfectly described how this part in the parking lot plays out. They said he's acting like he's the 13-year-old boy running away from a pedophile. And that is so accurate. He's running around...
I mean, a little bit.
Like, hysterically screaming and just going absolutely ballistic. He runs in a circle and then even lays on the ground for a little bit, kind of wiggling around.
Can I just go poop? Ah! Ah!
I guess, yeah. Oh, you know what? Now it's starting to come back to me. I have seen this because, dude, this guy literally, like, crashes his car. Oh, right there. Bam. Damn, dude.
Oh my god, it gets even better!
The pedophile is high on meth and operating a vehicle, and it goes about as you'd expect. He
What the fuck? Riv City, you've missed it. Like, I'm gonna go work here soon, but I'm just kind of, finishing this, real quick, but, like, this dude is, like, the summary is it's a crazy-ass situation where this vigilante shitbag, who actually looks more like a freak, more so than this tweaked-out, like, dude, no, I Venom's critch-ass oh, what? I'm not even... Okay, never mind. Well, here, you'll have to go back and check this out, though. This is nuts.
Fucking blasts himself, like, right over, like, a small little tree and some bushes. It really looked like it was about to take flight. That was some shit out of Need for Speed, honestly. Like, god
Need for Speed.
Oh my god! Whoa, hit and run, call the police! Call the police!
Immediately after vaporizing a tree and destroying that, like, area of bushes, he peels out once again and manages to hit one of only two potential obstacles in the entire fucking parking lot. Someone else's car. He goes by and hits someone else's car. There is literally only two cars in this entire fucking parking lot. It is actually more impressive that he managed to hit something. I don't even fathom how he could have fucked up even worse. It's unbelievable.
Just call the police, guys. I got the tags. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police. Call the cops, bro. I got the video. You don't need the video. Just call the cops. Tackle is done.
I always hate that fucking mentality. Hey, someone else call the police. I am busy recording. No. I'm recording, so someone else call the police to handle this.
I really do hate that mentality. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to be the vigilante hero recording literally everything, so someone else be, the actual, like, responsible one.
Full of situations where that makes any sense. And that's when there's...
Let me get my World Star clip.
Then having a video of the situation can be helpful to the overall thing. So you could have one person video while someone else is calling the authorities. But in this case, it was just him for the entire thing right up until the very end. He should have been the one to call the police, but didn't. And
I mean, absolutely. Literally, this whole situation happened literally because of this stupid dumb fuck wanting to get clout and make a video. I guess he got what he wanted, but, like, that's the only reason why, this shit happened the way it did. If officers were involved, this would have been handled a lot more cordially. And this guy would not have been running away in his car, having his car, like, have a Blue Origin moment, launching into space almost. Yeah, honestly, this really could have escalated to something worse. Especially if I'm driving around the parking lot like that, yeah.
inexplicable decision. Instead of leaving, he instead pulls up to the front of the store he just ran away screaming from and parks it. He just drops that shit right in front of the store he just left, and then gets out to try and run back into the store, which I don't understand at all. He's treating it like this was some kind of safe zone or something.
Safe zone.
As he gets out of the car and tries to run back in the store, he gets tackled by a good Samaritan who had just seen the hit and run, and everything that unfolded in the parking lot. So he gets tackled by that guy, and it's like a Goldberg spear. That is a great form textbook tackle. And then the cops do show up to arrest him.
See, this should have, right here, this should have been the situation, this should have been cut down to, 10 minutes, when it comes to the clip, and the person, should have not have confronted this person whatsoever, and just, literally call the cops, and then, but, unfortunately, he wouldn't get so many clicks, because then this would basically be the video. Can't get many clips with something like this.
Come on, man.
The cops go through his things. They find a pipe. They find a lot of stuff. They arrest him for the driving, DUI. They don't seem super interested in the predator catching too much attention to that. Instead, they arrest him for, of course, the way he was driving the vehicle. Now, I've mentioned this numerous times over the years. I'm not really a fan of vigilante predator hunters. For the simple reason that 9 times out of 10, the pedophiles that get caught in these operations don't face any real repercussions other than
Of course, the pigs. Yeah, this is the reason why.
Still being made about them. But law enforcement can't use the investigations because they're less than professional, meaning the predator doesn't spend any time in the slammer. They don't go to jail, which allows them to continue preying on children in their communities.
And this is why law enforcement needs to be involved in this type of shit. Because frankly, before even confronting and doing your own investigation and stuff, you need to contact law enforcement about that. Be like, hey, I suspect this is happening, and I would like to, help, solve the case, and blah, 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 blah. Frankly, if there's, if there's, anything that you should, have, law enforcement, be involved with, when it comes to actually, cops doing some good shit, this would be it. Say what you want about police, but this is, the rare times where they actually do their jobs. And, it's when it comes to that type of stuff, you have to involve yourself with them in these situations. You can't just be some vigilante fuckhead, honestly.
Extenuating circumstances, for example, EDP. EDP may have not gone to jail, but that video that was made about him by the, fucking Gotham Knights of Predator Catchers did a great service to the whole community because it exposed him for abusing his platform, trying to meet up with children, and even if he didn't go to jail, it still took away his access to more potential victims. So overall, it was a positive thing, though ideal outcome would have been him also going to jail. In this case, the video we just watched, this predator probably would have never went to jail had he not operated the vehicle while high on meth and caused a massive commotion there.
No shit.
Multiple things. Had he not been driving that recklessly and high, he probably would have never seen any jail time for the investigation conducted by this channel. So, it's just one of those things where, yes, it is good to expose the predators, but I really wish it was handled in collaboration with law enforcement, so that way not only would they be exposed publicly, they would also face the jail time associated with the crime. But yeah, anyway, this video was wild, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit today. That's about it. See ya.
Hey. Good shit. I like it. Good stuff, I say. But yeah, I feel like I have seen that clip before, at least somewhere. I don't know where, but I do remember seeing it at one point. Trilogy Medias, but I think so. I have no idea which one it was. It was one of those stupid vigilante fuckheads. I feel a little bad. I have to dip now because Mordek's just got here. But anyway, I have to head off to work though, sadly. But I shall be back, in a little bit and all that fun stuff. Maybe, maybe not. So anyway, peace out for now. But I'll be back in the next one. So.